Yo, what's good, everyone? It's your boys, Jimmy Daz and Deffer. All right, lads?
Hello, boys. How's it going?
Yeah, all right, mate. All right. Feels like a while. It hasn't been, but it feels like a while for some
Does
reason.
feel like a while. When was the last time we dropped an episode? 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, the Street Fighter versus special.
Was that really
Yeah, a
2
couple of
weeks
weeks
ago?
ago, mate,
Feels like
wasn't it?
Yeah,
oh, mate,
quick.
it feels like too long, mate.
It does,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
You know, too much
Does.
metal to talk about, brothers.
This is like being reunited after a holiday or something, innit? With your family.
Yeah. The excitement, yeah.
So today, I'll tell you why it feels long, because we haven't done a roundup show for ages. That's why it feels like
Oh,
it's
Yes.
been,
that's
yeah,
probably
it's
it.
been months, isn't it? So today we're discussing some of our picks of January's albums and a couple of buttes from December as well. Been a pretty decent start to the year, hasn't it?
I would
think
say
it's-
so.
I think it's been stronger than last year. Definitely more noteworthy additions.
For sure, mate. Like there was some real quality release this month, which we'll get into. It also kind of snuck up on me this month. Like loads of stuff all of a sudden came out, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Well, I think we were convinced with a lot of the release dates that there was maybe one, possibly two, and then it was like, oh, hang on a minute, is this one? Is
Yeah.
this one? Is
Yeah,
this
yeah.
one? And it was like, fuck.
Well, do you know what as well? Like, I think that there's not many, there's no massive hitters in this, is there?
No.
Maybe Upon Stone, you could argue, but most of the stuff
Hang on a
picked...
minute. Hang on a minute. Hang on. We'll get
Well, no,
to
but you know what I mean. Like in terms
Yes.
of like they're not like
yeah.
AAA bands or whatever dropping.
No,
massive
no,
albums.
Not stuff we were
No,
waiting for.
No, exactly. A lot of this has come out of left field for me. I wasn't expecting
surprise,
any of it.
Surprise hits. That's what we like.
Same for me, mate. And the surprise hits have been like,
Oh my god,
holy
absolutely
shit.
unbelievable, bruv.
Yeah, like taking a doughboy from Mike Tyson. That's what they've been like, isn't it? It's like,
Yeah,
oh, fucking hell, I didn't see that coming. Like,
So good.
So let's boot this off then, lads. In England, this album came out in December, 15th of December on Misaku and Oho Records. They never missed, do they?
No, miss.
Second album from Cryptworm called Oozing Radioactive Vomission, is it?
Vomission, yeah. I'd say
Vomission?
that. Yeah.
I always
heard that
thought
word
it was
before.
vomit on.
Vomits on. I did.
I love like
Vomit on.
mispronouncing shit.
Yeah.
And that, like, I was just like, who's in radioactive vomit on? That's weird.
That's
Well,
all
their
right.
last album was a fucking mouthful as well, wasn't
That's
it?
true. That's true.
Right, Vomiton sounds like a robot in Transformers that just pukes
Yeah.
Vomiton.
Oh, mate. So sick.
So this is their second album. You boys were big fans of the first. I liked the first album. You boys were massive fans of the first album, weren't you?
Yeah, but I think Deffer's... I'm going to pass this over to Def because he's fucking birds hard over this, bro.
I did like that first album. But it was nothing really stood out afterwards. But it was always, if it was the conversation, did you do the Cryptworm album, or it came up, I would always be, that was a really good album. I recommend it.
Yeah.
This album is different gravy, man. The only disappointing thing for me is it dropped on 15th of December. I get it and I don't get it. If this would have dropped earlier in the year, say even November, this for me would have been a top 40 guarantee. And I told you boys that already.
Yeah.
100%. If it would have dropped this month, I'd have been raving on it pretty much all year. So it's
fallen between the gaps.
For me, yeah, there's no wrong time to release an album. But for me, it's fallen in. Well, I can't count it for last year. And I'm probably not going to count it for this year. But
I hear you, mate. Yeah,
I am not.
We get to talk about it now, Dan. That's it. That's the main
come
thing,
on, son.
Talking about it now, mate.
They have stepped it up, mate.
So hit us with it. The Defalici.
Mate, this is groovy, chunky death metal, isn't it? If you were to describe it in a couple of words.
Yeah, with like demi-lish vocals.
Yeah.
The vocals on here are fucking sick, man. The groove on here, mate. There's so many earworms on here. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I think you made reference to Korn a couple of times in the group chat.
That opening track, mate. You kick off with a breakdown like that. That is life. The drumming is Life is Peachy. It's bouncy straight away. It's like fucking hell, man. This is a step up.
That was such a great shout when you mentioned that.
Def, I put in my note, track 5 has a massive Korn bouncy section, whether they want to hear it or not.
Yes.
It just does. Sorry, lads.
And track 4, that opening riff in track 4, Necrophagus. Tell me that's not a Deftones riff.
Yeah,
it's fucking it's got that new metal
bounce,
90s bounce to it. Whether it's on purpose, maybe they didn't have any influence at all in it, but to my ears,
but maybe they do. You know,
maybe they do.
There's a lot of those bands now, like loads of the young sort of bands, like all repping Corn and that, aren't they? Have you seen them? They're all kind of going back.
Yeah.
Old
I think
Corn stuff.
It's just how stupidly catchy the riffs are. Like every song's got like a simple yet stupidly, Daz, you used the word Moorish. Like the riffs are just Moorish, aren't they?
This album's well Moorish, mate. I keep coming back to this album.
That's it, because it's catchy, mate. Like that intro to Miasmic Fetid Odor, right? The intro to that is so fucking catchy, man. It's a lot more accessible than the debut album.
Yes.
But I think no less heavy. Like they've not fucking scrimped on the heaviness. It's still like, do you know what I mean?
And they're not like short songs as well. They're like 5-6 minute tracks.
Yeah, they're
it's
quite
a lot for this style of death metal to fit in. And some of it reminded me of the Pharmacist album. You know, there were long tracks and you thought, death grind, like an 8-minute death grind track. How can that work? But Pharmacist done it. You know, different patterns, different speeds. Cryptworm have like the same formula. What they're doing they're mixing it up in those 5-6 minutes, so they're not overrun. You think, fucking hell, this track's 6.5 minutes long, but when it finishes, you think, fuck me, I want to play it again.
Yeah, you do. You really do, mate. It's those murky,
it's so good.
Sam Squanch riffs, mate.
Yeah,
Sam Squanch. Am I right in thinking was it Cryptworm who on their debut album didn't have any blast beats? Did we make mention of that? We did, didn't we?
Yes.
This has got full on blast beat section.
Oh, mate.
And it really adds to their sound. Like there's thrashy tempos on here, full on blast, like slamming grooves. I think it just gives the song so much more scope. Do you know what I mean?
Big time.
I think they're more interesting songs on this record.
Yes. They're more standout, mate. They're bigger, they're better. And that drum tone as well is fucking sick. It's so good, man.
Yeah, that snare tone, mate. It's literally perfection in my notes.
It is. It's so good. If you've got a wicked snare tone, chances are you've got a wicked album and wicked tracks.
It's kind of, they remind me of like Snapcase and bands like that, with those like that a 90s hardcore sound that's with on the drums now.
It's certainly been a thing now, isn't it? There's another album later on that we'll talk about that has exactly the same.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of funny because everybody was like ripping on Metallica. We say this all the time for the snare ping. And now it's like one of the most sought after snare sounds of this day and age. It's incredible.
I'm just going to do the PG Tips frog gif.
Yeah.
After that comment, exactly that. That's
Lars was right, Def, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, but that's none of my business.
I'm gonna get you to record a fucking impressions audio album, mate, and we're gonna put it on Hanger Records. Oh, you mentioned it earlier, but T-Bore's vocals are fucking killer, aren't they? Like,
so sick.
They give me that same feeling like the first time I heard Chris Barnes on them early Cannibal Corpse records.
Yeah, I don't know how the fuck he does it, man.
No, I don't either.
Yeah,
I mean, he goes even lower than that, doesn't he? With those like bile drenched gurgs that he does. Like,
yeah,
it's fucking unbelievable. Production on it is really good as well.
Yeah,
like beautifully crisp and clear, which means them riffs like really pop. And when the riffs are the star of the show, like they have to pop, don't they? Do you know what I mean?
They don't stop, mate. They don't stop.
It's the full package as well, you know, because the artwork's absolutely phenomenal.
The artwork's wicked.
I wasn't massively keen on the debut artwork, but they've incorporated their logo now, which looks super sick as well.
Yeah, it does.
So the whole package, absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's a big step up for me for Cryptworm.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, if you like Undergang and Autopsy and stuff like that, this is just right up your Strasser.
Wretched good fun, mate, isn't it?
Mate, wretchedly good fun, mate.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, like you said, this could be an honorary mention for your album of the
100%.
year list last year, can't it?
100%. 100%. Yeah, it's 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 frustrating, isn't it? But I mean, there's another one with I think the same release date, and it's I think we're just being greedy because everyone's 99% of people have probably done their album of the year list. Whether people would include this on this year, I think it's a little bit earlier.
It's the game we play, mate. You know,
it is the game we play.
There's
Yeah,
some
everyone has their own rules. Yeah,
they have their own rules. They'll say should have waited. There's some that will be like you should have done your album of the year list in January. So you know, people were doing them still now. I'm still seeing people doing them now. I know, mate. Like I'm there, just like seriously, I don't give a
new year, innit? New year, new music. New year, new music, innit?
We don't have the privilege of being able to do that unless, like, you know, fortunately we get stuff a lot earlier. But this one we didn't happen to get early, so couldn't make the end of the year list. It just happens.
The way it is, isn't it? It's the way. It's the fucking way she goes, boys.
It's the way it is.
Fucking way she goes. So yeah, Cryptworm oozing radioactive Marmaduke is is the name of the record. Right, next album up, we're off to Canada.
Oh god!
And when we said at the start, some records came out that slapped us round the chops from nowhere. Here's one of them. So this is the debut album from Dissimulator called Lower Form Resistance. It came out on the 26th of Jan on $20 spin.
$20 win.
$20 win, am I right, mate?
Yes. Am I right, mate?
I mean, this shouldn't have come out of slapped us in the chops left field here because it's on $20 spin, mate. So, you know, like,
but it's a different sort of sound in $20 spin album. It's not your usual.
Yeah, guaranteed whiplash. when you put this on, like, I can't even describe this. Like Voivod times Atheist times Megadeth times Exodus,
Mr. Bungle
times Blade Runner, like,
Death. It's ridiculous.
Times Blade Runner.
Mate, it is ridiculous. But when you see
the album,
the caliber of the musicians involved in this, like members of Atramentus, Beyond Creation, I can never pronounce it. Is it Catheliast?
Yeah.
That's how you pronounce it.
I think so. Yes,
we'll go with that. You just know the musicianship and songwriting ability is top notch, and the fact that this is a 3-piece band,
ridiculous.
Like, I remember I did the promo, I think, for this a few weeks ago, or a few weeks before it came out, and I was like, lads, just you wait till you hear this. And then I think you boys waited till release day, didn't you? Or
I didn't. This actually, I don't even know. I was probably off in another realm, mate, while you guys were talking about this, because I had no idea about this.
There was one there was one from this month that we were raving about. What was another promo? And then you were like, hold the fucking fort a minute. Before you say anything, do this. I think I did the promo just before release date. And yeah, I've still got a fucking bruise, mate, now.
Holy shit, man. This is like a thrash death hybrid but they let their prog love just run free all throughout this. Like, all the tracks apart from the opener are like over 4.5 minutes. But again, like Cryptworm, they feel like 3-minute songs, these.
Yeah.
I mean, Canadian death metal never misses, does it? Let's be fair. But like this, when I first played through this record, like the sort of first 30 seconds of that opening riff in Outer Phase, and then it comes in with that weird vocal decoder. There's like the weird things. Do you remember like those weird like toy microphones you used to get as a kid that just weren't a microphone at all? It just made your voice sound weird. Like it's like they got one of them or something, you know?
Mate, I love that they have vocoder usage on here. Like,
it's really tastefully done.
Yeah, there's a song called Warped/Autumn Oil, and it's Cloud Ludet is the vocalist. His vocals are fucking sick, man. Like, they lean more on the death metal side, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
So you've got like a weird thrash like canvas, and then he's got like this death metal vocal over the top of it. But now and again, like, he rips into that higher shriek, and it just
and he brings in some cleans in it, in that auto moil and robot toil.
That's a bit of a tongue twister, isn't it, Def?
Fucking is, mate. Very Faith No More-esque.
Yes, mate.
Clean
yeah.
vocals on that, mate.
Yeah.
And you spoke about Warped. That breakdown at 3 minutes 42.
Oh, get out of it.
Fuck out of here, mate.
That was in your message, Def.
Oh, yeah.
That was in your message.
I put the breakdown from 3 minutes 42 on Warped is like Justice for All Metallica on a Tony Montana amount of coke. That's what it's like, mate. They've literally gone into that room. They've buried their head on that coke on the table, and then they've done that breakdown. Yeah.
It's
say hello to my little friend.
Yeah. Fucking sensational.
one impression per album, please. I literally can't like the riffs are always the first thing I notice on any album, right? Because I like a guitar person. The guitar playing on here is fucking ridiculous. Like, it's super inventive, super creative. There's all kinds of like little mad little riffs and solos that get peeled out.
It's very similar to Dying Fetus's style. That one guitarist doing all that magic. Yeah. And you think, how can you just do that on one fucking guitar? It keep all that changing ways, slowing down fast.
There's loads of jazz elements in here.
Yeah.
Like, there's loads of jazz. It's like real dissonant. Like, as you say, like super adventurous guitar.
Cyber, isn't it? That's sort of that sound now, isn't it? That jazzy.
Just packed with interesting and fresh ideas, mate. Like, it's just such a like breath of fresh air, this album. It's insane.
It is, man. Because like you'll be like headbanging along to a riff, and then all of a sudden it will go out of time for a few seconds, and then it'll peel you back over somewhere else, and you just don't know where you're fucking going next.
And there's some nice off kilter moments as well, which I do like.
Yeah. The drumming on here, Def, you mentioned Autumn Oil, robot oil. I keep reading that. You put some robot oil in the vomit on, mate, and but the drum intro to that track is.
I think Philippe is on the drums, and I thought at first it was a drum machine because I thought you cannot seriously play the drums like that. I mean, I'm not a drummer, so I don't know, but to me it sounded like a drum machine. But then when I found out there was an actual drummer on it, it was like, how the fuck is he having that much precision? You know, with all those riff changes, all those patterns, the choppy changing, it was making me gash, mate, from my pee hole. I ain't gonna lie.
There's like tons of cool little feels and out of the box moments on the drums, and it just, mate, the whole album is like that. The whole album is just out of the box, isn't it? And it's
every track has a standout moment that you think, oh my god, this album is special.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it is
41 minutes and 7 tracks. It like
perfect.
Flies by.
Yeah.
Like you just want to press play again as soon as it's finished. And yeah, man, like we said at the start, January has started strong, and this is a real like killer standout record for the month, isn't it?
100%.
Yeah. So Dissimulator are the band, and Lower Form Resistance is the name of the record. Right, okay. The next album up, I think this is the album Daz was referring to with the ping snare. It's we're off to the USA for the second album from Iron Front. It's called Hooked, and the album came out on the 12th of Jan on Creator Destructor Records. Death metal, isn't it?
Yes.
Like, what more can you say? Like pulverizing, groovy, slamming death metal. Like, this is such a fun record.
Yeah, man. Like 7 tracks, 22-minute runtime. It's basically an EP, I guess, kind of. I mean, it depends on whether you go on the tracks or the runtime, I suppose. But
I just go by what the band call it, mate. At the end of the day, they've called it an album. So
it's an album, 22-minute album, short as fuck. Can play it 3 times in an hour.
Yeah, that's what you want, isn't it?
Yeah, lovely old time, man.
That is what you want. Leaves you coming back. Like, I liked this on first listen. I've done it a few more times since, and it gets better and better with each listen as well. Like, it's just fun. Like, you listen to this album, you've got a grin on your face the whole time you listen to it. Daz's got that fucking pingy 90s snapcase snare tone to it.
Yeah.
again, we'll say it again, is just perfect for this sort of music. The guitars are monstrous.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely
this.
monstrous, mate.
There's loads of cool pinched harmonics, which are an instant winner for me. Like, you
Yeah,
hear
I love
them,
all that shit.
yeah. You hear them style of riffs, and that's like,
It's a game changer. Yep.
yep, straight away. I mean, I think it's Topi vocals.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Topi,
yeah.
yeah.
They're straight out of that like Suffocation, Mortician school of guttural.
Slam realm in it, the slam realm.
Yeah.
Blurs in it, those blah. Love it.
It's got
Brilliant.
a nice dose of hardcore swag at this album
Yeah,
Yeah,
it has,
man.
mate.
as well. That's the thing.
I think it might be the first track. His vocals weirdly remind me of Soul of a New Machine, Fear Factory.
Yeah, you said that on the chat.
In
Yeah.
some places too. Like I think it's the combination of that guttural vocal with the grooves.
Yes.
Kind of reminds me of like of that record, which is really cool because that's like a fucking absolute favorite record of mine. So sometimes these sorts of death metal records can get pretty they're quite sameish, do you know what I mean, throughout.
Yeah.
The songwriting on here is really fucking cool in that it doesn't leave you in one place for too long. Like, the songs are constantly switching up, so you'll get full-on blast beats, you'll get mid-pace grooves, you'll get thrash sections, you'll get slower breakdowns. There's all kinds of like tempo shifts and variations in style in here that make this quite an interesting listen for this style of death metal.
And to average every track at sort of 3 minutes and to get all that in is really impressive.
I love the sick fucking samples, man. It just takes me back to like early 2000s sort of, you know, tongue-in-cheek metalcore sort of stuff, where I'd have the big weird like fun sample before a massive
I like that.
breakdown,
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, and
it's so good.
That's been done deliberately, because I saw one review was like, why have they chosen these sorts of samples? Because it dates it back to and it's like, well, that's probably
that's
deliberate.
The point. Of course it is.
That's what you want to do. Yeah.
Fucking hell. I don't know where these people get off these writers. Like, just like,
mate, it's the Mortal Kombat fatality.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Yeah, so good, isn't it? Like,
God, it's hard as fuck, mate.
It is, mate. Like, this album isn't reinventing the wheel, but the wheel is already perfectly fine. Do you know what I mean?
That's it.
It's just a nice wheel.
And I'll talk about Harrison Brown, his vocal performance. He's from Body Box on Burnt by a Crack Pipe, mate. Burnt by a Crack Pipe, bruv. I love it. The song names are so good, isn't it? Quality, mate, you know. So, but yeah, as you said, like, it's not something that's gonna like stand out like too much from the pack, but if you love this sort of style, which we all do, it's a top-notch, all the frills, good time, mate.
Yeah, it's a real fucking fun. No, it's a real fun record. Like, if you dig Suffocation, Cannibal Corpse, Skinless, like those sorts of bands, then you'll absolutely dig this. So the album is called Hooked, and the band are Iron Front. Oh, boys. Goodness me. Here's an album that I had no idea was coming out, and didn't know anything about this band, and this has blown my block right off. So we're staying in the USA. It's the debut record from a band called Rhûn, RHU with a little hat on N. The album is called Conveyance in Death. This came out on the 26th of January on House of Incantation. So this is a one-man project, masterminded by Aaron Charles. Self-produced this, recorded it himself, like
basically done everything in it apart from drums.
Yeah.
Mental.
How one man so talented, I don't know. But so this is sort of atmospheric black metal, but the atmosphere is evil.
Yes.
Like, there's a real like ancient mystical vibe to this record that it just fucking captured me from the first listen. Like this, I've listened to this about 5 or 6 times now. It just gets better and better every listen.
Did come out of nowhere, mate, that's for sure. I've given it a couple of listens, but yeah, like Morning Star, the opening song,
majestic, mate.
There's a fucking breakdown in that song, like
With a
super
death metal
low
growl.
guttural, yeah, like a death metal low guttural, like quite lengthy and drawn out into this massive breakdown. And I was just like, fuck my boots.
That's the one thing that really made me love this record. It's got actual fucking riffs, like loads of them. For me, like having listened to enough of it now, atmospheric black metal, right, has either got to be riff heavy or I get fucking bored to tears, like so quickly now.
Same.
There was an album that came out this month that loads of people were raving about. Atmospheric, and I made it through 2 tracks, and I was like, "This has gone absolutely nowhere." Like, what am I listening to? But this, man,
it's a rip roaring good time, man. This album,
it's brilliant. Yeah, go on, Dev.
I was just going to mention Bone Ornament halfway through the album, mate. For me, one of the standout tracks of the month. I think it
Bone
is
Ornament
incredible.
Is fucking wicked, mate.
Just pace, ferocity, those tremolos, the whole soundscape of the track. It's like an attack on the castle style sound.
The middle of it is goes full Chaos AD,
mate. Unreal.
Like, it's got like that dissonant guitar fucking line.
That was a shock when that come in, mate. Sitting there on the headphones, it was like,
shit,
whoa!
This is like from Chaos AD or something.
Do you know what? It's such a trip you just said that, Def, about like the attack on the castle and stuff, because like 2 songs later, the track title, the track name is Citadels in Ruin.
Exactly, mate.
What a tune that is.
Yeah, mate. And then before that, Howl of Gleaming Swords. Fucking come on, mate. It's basically like kind of like that's shit. I'm blanking on their goddamn name now. But you know the ones, the wizard one. The one that I loved.
Stormkeep,
that's it. Stormkeep. I was going to say Stormer. There's too many bands with Storm in them.
Yeah. Cut the Storm.
Yes.
But yeah, it's got that sort of vibe about it, that medieval sort of vibe.
It has, mate. Like Howl of Gleaming Swords as well. It's got a bit of a Western vibe, like a la Wayfarer to it as well.
Yes, I thought that as well. Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Fucking, I thought, bloody hell.
A lot of layers in this album.
It's the guitar work on here, man. Like, there's Def, you said the Bone Ornament. There's a riff at the end of Bone Ornament, which is unbelievable.
God,
there's a repeating riff in Citadels in Ruin.
Yes,
wicked.
Yes.
Tomb of Andesite has got like this chunky riff in the middle that's just like a fucking like Dazzle, like it's got like breakdowns in it, and like don't get that confused. Like by it's you have to listen to this to know what. Do you know what I mean? Like you don't expect.
I think people get put off by that atmospheric black metal title because you, like you said before, Jim, you expect slow
or just
drawn out lead like 3 songs to actually get to somewhere. This is completely different. The atmosphere is the music. Don't be put off by this. It's nothing to do with that. The atmosphere is the whole record. It's riffs. It's fucking riffs. It's brilliant.
And he drops one of them death metal gutturals, growls again in Tomb of Andesite.
Mate,
it's like,
I think that's what it's about for me. You know, like it's not that sort of traditional and sometimes monotonous, like high pitched shriek in it. The old icicle piercing shriek. He's got a lot of vocal dynamics going on.
Tons of vocal dynamics, mate. Yeah. The lower death metal like register vocals are so refreshing. Like the more traditional black metal vocals on here, I think they're kind of in the same vein as Wolves in the Throne Room.
Yes.
Where they're not like super high, they're kind of like set back a little bit, and they're more like mid range.
Just
do you know
suits
what I mean?
That style, isn't it? It's perfect for that style.
It's so good, man. The songwriting on it is exceptional as well. You'll get like moments of eerie calm that just explode into
terror,
raging, furious blasts of black metal. Like, the production's awesome as well. The fact that he's produced this himself as well, like guitar.
Isn't he like a live? Who's live musician is he with?
Panopticon. Both of them.
That's it.
Panopticon. Panopticon. Yeah, they're both live members.
Panopticon and Vomiton, mate. Just having it.
Panopticon, Vomiton.
For you.
God, blimey.
You know we've got to start a band now called Vomiton, don't you?
That's it. That's our name done now.
But yeah, the production's awesome, man. Like the guitar tone is really thick and crisp, like which is another, you don't expect that from a lot of atmospheric black metal, kind of quite thin
Yes.
guitar tones. Do you know what I mean? It's polished, but it's not lo-fi.
No.
Like it's a real nice middle ground. I said it in our chat, didn't I? This is my favorite black metal I've heard in a minute.
And it's 37 minutes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Absolute 6 tracks, 30. If it was, you know, as soon as you see the 37-minute runtime, you're like, right, okay, it's already got my attention, and it's even better than you would imagine it would be.
Yeah,
so it's brilliant. It's brilliant for that.
I think it's trademark. Jack from Twitter says 36, 37 is scientifically perfect. And it is, isn't it?
There we go. There we go.
It is scientifically perfect. Everything about this is absolutely spot on, man. I love this record. Yeah, the band are called Rhûn, R-H-U-N, and the album is called Conveyance in Death. Right, okay, album number 5. Coming back to England, very, very different flavour on this one. It's the debut record from Rough Justice called Faith in Vain. This came out on the 12th of January on Malev Limited. So basically, for fans of Malevolence, Guilt Trip, Higher Power, groovy, metallic hardcore with that 90s metal riffing flavor that we love, that fucking burn my eyes harmonic riffs. But something that really sets this apart is those cool, like melodic, spacey, trippy guitar passages. Me and you picked instantly, Death, wasn't it? We were like, yo, that's a bit different.
Yes. And this style of metallic hardcore is a fucking big hit for me, man. Just musically, just everything is just quality. And it's just, yeah, like you said, those machine head 90s style sort of riffs. Yeah, those pinches. Yeah, it's, oh, mate, what an album.
Yeah, it's wicked. Like, I think there's like, they obviously utilize a lot of guitar effects on here. And it really adds so much to the music when you get those like little clean, they don't hang around for long, but you just get these little passages of like tripped out spacey guitar lines and stuff. It's fucking so good. And I think the album art reflects that spacey far out vibe to this record, doesn't it? Like
it makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
When I first saw it was a metallic hardcore album, I thought that cover looks very not what I'm expecting.
Death metal.
But then once you start getting 2-3 tracks into it, you're like, I get it now.
Yeah.
It makes complete sense. It's not trying to be a Malevolence or anything like that.
No, it's something different.
Completely its own thing. Yeah.
Absolutely, mate. The guitar tone on here is
it's fucking wonderful.
Fucking awesome. The drums, man, hit so hard on it. And how is Josh Baines as good at drums as he is guitar?
It's fucking insane.
He's just a freak of nature, isn't he? Like honestly, I think one of the best musicians in heavy music at the moment.
Absolutely.
He's a lad, isn't he?
I didn't realize he played drums. When I saw he was involved in this, I was like, well, that's got to be him playing guitar. And then
it was only when you said that same comment you just said on the text, and it was like, what? And you know, when you go back to the album, you think, fucking hell. Oh, wow. Yeah, it was only when after I listened to it again, it was like, I've got to listen to it again now. And it was like, yeah, how does he do? I don't know.
Yeah, mental. Some of the sickest breakdowns I've heard in a while on here. Like the breakdowns are so cool because the guitar work is really interesting and inventive on them. So you'll get like a breakdown and then there'll be like a pick scrape or like a Dillinger escape plan style like riff, and it'll only be for a few seconds, but you're like, whoa, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah,
like it's not standard. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I completely agree, man.
Rough. And Def, we've said it a couple of times on other albums on here already. So much variety in the songwriting. The album's 23.5 minutes long.
It's not like we're going back to well, most of these albums with these incredible run times. What they pack in doesn't make sense.
23.5 minutes?
3.5 minutes. How do you do it?
Are you doing all
what
that,
you've said? Yeah, exactly. It should be at least 40.
But tell you what, mate, that is the sign of a talented bunch of dudes, isn't it? and like a killer record that just fucking begs to be played over and over again. This,
mate, Boa Constrictor was the track for me on here. Just what 2.5 minutes of just fuck you in riffs, basically. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Jimmy on vocals, good name, mate. Has got a proper sick voice, isn't he?
He's a wicked, mate.
Fucking wicked vocalist, man. And also Def. It always wins points with us, mate. The track overall at the start, the Rough Justice like chant at the start of that. Shout your own name, mate. It's
already bonus
always
points.
A winner.
Exactly, mate.
And another bonus point for the Dead Man Shoe sample.
Yes,
from Paddy Constantine at the end of Coward.
Brilliant.
Fucking got you right here.
That's a great fucking film, mate.
That's a great film. As soon as that come on, I knew it was that. I was like,
instantly,
yes.
like that iconic scene, in it.
Your ear meat.
You fucking got your fucking
right.
What
film.
It's like
that's a perfect use of the fucking what they done there.
Yeah, absolutely. But we'll be talking about another one later. But UK hardcore has come in strong this year, isn't it? And,
yeah.
Rough Justice are up there with the best man. Like, this is a really, really great record, this. So, yeah, Rough Justice are the band, and Faith in Vain is the name of the record. Right, album number 6. We're off to Norway.
Oh,
the debut album.
Oh my God, we're going there. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, here we go.
Altered Realities. This came out
God.
January the 19th on Dark Descent Records. Another death thrash album, but
In
very different from Dissimulator.
Yes, this is...
Def, tell us your description that you said in our group chat. You can't remember it, can he?
I can't remember it.
You said...
I can't remember.
Rabbit in headlights.
Mate, I was convinced he'd have written this down. You were like,
I might have had it.
You were like, Death meets Nocturnus meets someone else in space, and that was your description.
Yes, it was. Demolition Hammer Nocturnus.
And that description, spot on, man. Like, it's like prog sci-fi, death thrash. I don't know what the fuck, man.
Mate, it's groove, speed, and riffs. That's all you need to know.
Sure, I think this one like kind of leans quite heavily onto progressive stuff as well. You know, like the lead work on here, progressive lead work on here, and the solos. The RPM, mate, riffs per minute, absolutely through the fucking roof.
It's on another planet.
Oh my God,
the
mate!
RPM
Honestly, it's weird because this one's come out of nowhere. And I'll just keep going back to this. It's fucking unbelievable. It's like death, like mid-era sort of death, like late career death.
Yeah.
With some Pestilence and stuff chucked in.
Sepultura, Arise.
Sepultura, it's got all those bands we mentioned. It's got some sort of, and there's another band as well, which I'm sure me and Jim will go to later with a track.
But Cryptosis and Miscreants as well, like what you said, Jim. Like that is bang on in it, mate.
Yeah, if you want to compare it to more modern stuff, Miscreants,
definitely.
Cryptosis.
Cryptosis is definitely like a good shout.
Yeah, Terminalist, 100%.
But I think, like, I love that Cryptosis record. I love that Miscreants record. I think this is this is the best example of this style of progressive death thrash in space.
This is heavier. This is fucking heavy as anything.
It's a mental record, this, mate. Like, and I think it gets better as it goes on as well.
Yes, it does. Yes. It definitely does. The back half, I prefer the back half.
Yes, the back half it's almost like they're like teasing you the whole way through, just like on this upwards.
That's how an album should be, innit? It should be that. It should get better and better as it goes on.
Like the last quarter of Synthetic Life, like just actually made me laugh out loud. I think people thought I was like cracking up or something, man. But it's just like the lead work. There's that lead work that goes straight into that solo, and it just goes absolutely balls to the wall, full throttle. Like the transitions are just like on a whim, mate.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Like, there's so many twists and turns on this record that
it's like the Cesc Fabregas of fucking death thrash, mate.
Multi-talented,
and handsome.
It's an album that it makes you listen to it over and over again.
Oh my
because
God,
there's
does
so
it?
much going on that you have to get everything out of it. Like,
It's not usually my thing, this sort of stuff, really, to be honest with you. It's not like my normal lane, but I keep listening to this album, and it kind of got to a point I thought, fucking hell, I keep listening to this album, like this is a bit, you know. And then you realise,
I think it might be that. I think the vocals might have something to do with this, because for me they sit somewhere between Chuck Schuldiner and John Tardy of Obituary.
Yes, yeah.
They he kind of straddles the line between both of them.
I had channels the Chuck Spirit and Max intensity through the album. So it's on that.
It's in that wheelhouse, isn't it?
Yeah, it will suit everyone who's into that style. It will suit.
Absolutely, mate. And we spoke about the vocoder earlier. There's like mad robot effects.
Yes,
like where the slime live, mate.
Oh,
I got off of that. That's on Enigma of Intelligence.
The Enigma of Intelligence. The vocals on there.
Tune. That's my favourite tune on the album.
Yeah, it's brilliant, mate, isn't it?
Phenomenal.
Mate.
I mentioned Megadeth, I think, in our group
chat.
And
it's because I've got that
of Def. It's because of the angles of the riffs.
Yes.
Like, you need like a protractor to work out the riffs on this, because they're like
it is like that.
You know, like Rust in Peace, Def, right? All them riffs come in, but they just attack you from all different angles, and they change and they shift, and you're like,
but that's but you know then what it sits out. So as soon as that Futile Dreams track is playing, straight away you're like, that's fucking Rust in Peace. That's fucking Megadeth. That's that.
Yeah, there's like
style.
In the guitars, mate. That style of riffing where they just like attack you from all different angles
and then it goes, and it's just drifting out, and it's very, very it's goosebumps, mate. Proper goosebumps.
Them boys have got some chops, man.
The level of quality on show on this album is
for a debut as well. Debut album.
Yeah, but they're also like they're like veterans, aren't they? I think they're in like other bands and stuff as well.
Yeah.
But you know, you'd never think that this was a band from Norway, like not in a million years.
No, that was a surprise. Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. There's some really cool like cosmic keys on here as well that just add to that extraterrestrial mystery.
Proper Master of Universe movie.
Yeah, mate.
Like
the gatekeeper. Dong dong.
Production wise is really organic sounding, isn't it? There's no overproduction or no studio trickery going on here. It kind of reminded me a bit of Them by King Diamond. That it got that kind of sound about it. It's just a fucking stunner of a record, isn't it? And this really did come out of nowhere. Like, I had no idea who this band were. Anything.
This was a shock, but in a good way.
I love the artwork.
Yeah, the artwork's really cool.
And then I saw a couple of people, our mate Irverton, going nuts about this record.
Yeah.
So I was like, gonna have to check that out. And then fucking how glad I did. Like, it's an absolutely stunning record, this.
Yeah. Be on the end of the year list, mate, I'm sure.
It's gonna be right in them.
Yeah, it has to be in the mix.
I think there's a
top 40 album in it.
There's a couple on here that's the bar.
Yeah.
So that's how you've got to work it out now. It's, is anything going to be
bar
better than that? That's going to go.
Yeah,
that's the bar set.
And
it's fucking what a couple of bars, mate. Really.
Yeah, absolute bar setter. Sovereign are the name of the band. Altered Realities is the record. Right, okay, album number 7. England again. Core England's had a good run this month, hasn't it? This is, depending on where you look, the third album or the debut album. So I'm a bit...
Yeah, I know, it's so weird.
Like, a bit confusing,
so weird.
Yeah.
So take your pick. This came out on the 12th of January on Days / Northern Unrest. Splitknuckle are the name of the band, and Breathing Through the Wound is the name of the record. As this is right up your Strasser, isn't it? This.
Yeah, man. This was actually the record that I was talking about with the ping.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because it's got that bog snare ping on here. But then you mentioned Iron Front. I was like, shit, there's actually 3. But there you go. It just proves my earlier point anyway.
Yeah.
Mate, what a bloody band, mate. You know, absolute worldy of an album, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Metallic hardcore with more than a dash of thrash and death metal laced through it. Like pepper in some Pantera Crowbar influence.
Yeah.
It's a right little toe rag of an album, this, isn't it?
It's so strange as well because there's like loads of curveballs in there. Like, Stay Keeping Count, I think's got trumpets in it.
Yeah.
I'm fairly sure I did it at the gym and I was like, fucking hell, there's trumpets in here. And that's like a 6-minute long song. And Gethsemane as well. Fucking hell, how out of left field is that song?
That's word again.
That is the track that I was like, this is like
what the fuck?
Like Hollow or This Love or something Pantera style, like a slow, dark, moody fucking.
Oh my god, like ballad. It's a bloody ballad, man. Like what Malevolence and Guilt Trip have done.
Yeah, they all got it from Pantera and Crowbar. Do you know what I mean? It's that influence of those bands. But I love that these bands are putting tracks like in there, and UK fucking hardcore, mate, is and this, it's almost like you can't really call it just hardcore, can you?
No, not that. It's so weird, this album, man. Like, because
there's so much going on.
This like new wave of hardcore is so fucking impressive.
It's like a kind of beatdown record as well, isn't it? You know, it's like a death metal beatdown hardcore record, and it also has like a couple of features from Andy Baz, who's in Rhûn now, but he was ex 50 Caliber, and I used to love 50 Caliber. Both of them are legendary UK hardcore bands. So
I think the UK hardcore bands have always had a bit of something else, haven't they? Like Stamping Ground and Knuckle Dust and all those kind of bands. They were never just straight up hardcore, were they?
They were on Rhûn Records. So Rhûn back in the early 2000s had bands like 6 Foot Ditch, Cartel. They were fucking sick. 50 Caliber, Knuckle Dust, all that sort of shit. Like Rhûn dealt with all that, and like 9 Bar and stuff. And as you said, like they've always had a like a bit of oomph to them. UK hardcore. It's like, you know,
a lot more riffy, in it.
Yeah, it's riffy. It's got that sort of like it's not meant in like a detrimental way, but it's almost got that kind of like hoodlum. You know what I mean? Like the Burberry hats, like
the
sort
fucking
of
toe rag, mate.
Hooligan.
It's a
hooligan toe rag. That's it.
Hooligan
we'll
hardcore.
say it straight, mate. It is
hooligan hardcore.
Like they're gonna fucking they are gonna fucking smash you up, mate, and feed you your teeth in it.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely, mate. Like this is super aggressive, in your fucking face. Like the guitars on this absolutely rip through those speakers. Like the guitar tone on here is ridiculous. And there must be 100,000 riffs on here, like minimum,
mate.
Easy minimum.
It's incredible. This album's so fucking good.
Yeah,
it's got everything that I want on it, mate. It scratches all my itches, man.
Yeah.
Like you said, the drums have got that beautiful like 90s, early 90s like crack to them, haven't they? That
got that like nice snap.
Yeah.
We Share Blood Not Love has Leah from Pest Control on it. It's got that super like catchy chanted chorus. Wicked album, wicked song, mate. That is.
Yeah.
And then it trails off into this like weird atmospheric part that like closes the song. I was just, like, I don't kind of know what's going on here.
This is it. It's curveballs, mate. Because when I saw like a 40-minute runtime, I was like, that's long for like a metallic hardcore record. But there's so much variety in the songwriting that it just literally flies by.
It made my jaw hit the floor a couple of times, mate, listening to this, because there was a lot of things on there that I wasn't expecting.
No, not at all, mate. Absolutely
I was very impressed once that opening track, Fuck Your Whole Life, finished, because that gives you a flavour of what's to come.
Yeah.
Well, that's got like the best like mosh call,
mate.
Like, the best quintessential mosh call, like
it's fucking just what an opening track, and that just prepares you for what is to come, mate. It's fucking, it just takes no prisoners, man.
Yeah. It's like lock, stock, and 2 Smoking Barrels hardcore, mate.
Yeah.
it is, mate.
Yeah,
Guy
that's that
Ritchie,
kind of
Guy
Ritchie
Ritchie hardcore.
Yeah.
Guy Ritchie core. Yes.
it is
That's
that,
it.
mate. That's what it's like.
Bricktop core. Yeah. Joey Drake setting an early bar for one of the most rabid vocal performances in 2024.
Oh, mate, yeah, so good.
Like he said, I love the diversity in the vocals on there that keep it all fresh. Like,
Yeah.
there's a melodic part in We Share Blood, which is super cool. You've got that rapid fire, like hip hop style in Essex Kings, which is
mate, Essex Kings, bro. So good.
But yeah, like we said it with Rough Justice, UK hardcore has come in strong in 2024, and
last year as well, Grove Street and etc.
bloody hell,
It's
mate.
a good scene. It's a good scene brewing, mate.
Yeah.
Someone put on an all-dayer with just all these UK hardcore bands playing. Like,
Yeah,
I've got no doubt actually that will be soon to happen, because
it'll happen at some point, won't it?
And it'll probably be like Brighton way, I reckon. They've got a good scene there down this way.
We'll be down for that, Daz.
Yeah, mate, it'd be so sick.
So yeah, an absolute, again, we say it with Rough Justice, bar setter for 2024. Splitknuckle, Breathing Through the Wound is the record. Right, okay, next album up is another December one. This came out on the 15th of December on Sentient Ruin Laboratories. It's the debut album from Sulfuric Hatred, and it's called Sulfuric Hatred. Now, I've got my notes on paper, lads, for this one. So, Sulfuric Hatred are fronted by Alexander Jones from Undeath. Oh, mate. All right, mate.
All right, mate.
All right, mate.
There's also members of Ninth Realm in here, Stabbed, Vile Ritual. So it's like
the lads,
the big band of lads, isn't it?
The fucking boys.
Yeah. Fucking hell. This is like relentless audio, relentless audio terror on a disc. This record, isn't it?
Yes.
It's very different from Undeath.
Oh,
very, very different.
Absolutely different, mate. Like, real chaotic and unforgiving are the two words that I've got written down here. And I think they're the words that the band actually describe their sound with. Like, it's not for the faint-hearted, this record.
No.
That's an absolute onslaught, isn't it? I would imagine it's like, Def, you must have loved this, isn't it? This is
right up
freak.
This is real good. It's got that Death Grind freak aura about it.
Yeah.
Which I like. And and Alex sounds like even more of a madman on here.
Shall I tell you what, mate? If I didn't know that was him on vocals, I wouldn't guess that was him on vocals. If I heard this without and that just shows what a wicked powerhouse vocalist he is. That his performance on here is like, it is so much different, isn't it?
It's not a copy and paste, isn't it? It's literally something different. He's doing a different style.
There's loads of blares and like
wicked.
all sorts of stuff going on here. It's how to describe it? It is death metal meets black metal. There's like blasts of noisy grindcore on here. World Fucking Collapsing, which is a great name for a song, is like got those real like blasts of noisy grind, but then there's like slower, doomier passages that come in for about 10 seconds, just allow you to breathe, and then you get fucking steamrolled again. Like, it's an onslaught with these little moments of respite that you just catch your breath.
It's chaos, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pure
it's like,
chaos.
I couldn't take it all in on first listen. I was like,
no, there's a lot going on this album.
Yeah,
I was shell shocked after the first listen, but second, after it's like two or three listens, you really start to take in what's going on, and the riffs like start to bury themselves in, and you get those little vocal moments from Alex. And there's a track, Forward Our Legions, which is a fucking great name for a song, man. Again, it's got like a real mid-pace riff in there, and they're the little moments that you catch on to when you listen to it a few more times, and it's like, hold on, I see Yeah, let's see what's going on here. There's the track Prostrated Human Race as well, which finishes this record like a real dark, brooding closer of a track. And I think I'm hoping Sulfuric Hatred will be a thing. Do you know what I mean? Like a proper
Yeah,
band,
it's got to be in it.
yeah, and if that's where they go in future, then fucking hell, album number 2 is going to be.
Fuck me.
But I've seen, mate, I was looking at reviews for this earlier. There's like 10 out of 10s. Like there were some real high scores for this record.
They're all just death grind freaks, mate.
Everyone's coming
Loving
to
it.
that way, mate. Everyone's listening.
Everyone's
Everyone's
coming over.
listening to the king. You know what I
Jeff's
mean?
been telling us, hasn't he?
I've been telling you, mate.
He has. It's fair.
That darkness is starting to come out now. You know what I mean? It's starting just to get grabbed. So it's getting its hooks on you two slowly. I'll get you, mate. I'll get you full. I'll get you full.
Yeah, and there's just enough clarity in the riffs hit to pick that you can pick them out. Like sometimes with that sort of unrelenting sound, you can't latch onto riffs and stuff. Do you know what I mean? But
no.
Because the production on it is real good, you can. They're just like enough there to pierce through the noise, and it's fucking really, really good. Yeah, it's like if you've only done this once or twice, and you, well, what the fuck's going on here? Couple more listens, I promise you, like it will start to. Those riffs really start to come through, and you appreciate how fucking good this album is. So, yeah, he's one of our favorite dudes.
Yeah,
in
everybody's favorite dude, mate. Gotta be.
Mr.
And
Jones.
we'll probably be mentioning him again this year with an album,
definitely.
isn't it?
100%.
That's coming out.
Mate.
So
yeah.
we'll be
might even see him again. He might even pop on.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, man. Absolutely. So yeah, that's the debut record from Sulfuric Hatred, self-titled. Came out 15th of December. Jump on that if you missed it in the end of year Christmas melee. Back to England for this next record, album number 9, the 4th album from the Infernal Sea, called Hellfenlick.
Yeah, I don't know.
This came out on the 26th of January on Candlelight Records. Easily their best album to date.
This
100%.
was probably the surprise album for me.
Really?
So good. I think I made that mistake where I know what it's going to sound like, but I was completely wrong.
I hear
Yeah,
mate.
that.
Yeah.
That I know what's going to happen. I was wrong, and I like it when I'm wrong.
Yes.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely.
Because you get sort of not cocky, but it's like I know what the other two sound like. They're really good. It's probably going to be the same.
They fucking pulled your pants down, didn't they, lad?
Woo! They're allowed to, mate, on this. Yeah, mate.
Best songs, more accessible.
Yeah.
More memorable.
I mean, look, I'll say it on air. What I said in the chat, I wasn't massively asked about their stuff before. I kind of tried to get into it. I thought, it wasn't really for me. But this album, I was just like, fuck, I absolutely love this, mate. The best thing that they ever did was infuse this 80s thrash and trad metal into their sound, because this is an absolute worldie of a record, man.
It suits them so much.
Yeah, suits them so much, mate.
Heavy metal influence.
Jesus Christ.
Def, you said it, didn't you? Obviously, the old DL, his love for Maiden was always gonna come through at some point.
It was going to get. Maybe he was giving us those hints that time we were
Thank God.
Waiting fucking 6 months for Batushka to come on stage. We were having that good chat with him.
Yeah,
and he loves Maiden just as much as we do, and you can hear. Not necessarily Maiden, but the new wave of British heavy metal influence on all the tracks, all the way through.
Witchfinder has got like that eternal champion feel to it.
Yes.
That, like, Def's wearing the t-shirt.
Yeah, there we go.
I did not expect that sort of swords race to the sky.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody did.
I think it surprised a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think it's shocked a lot of people.
Yeah. Opener, like the opening track, Lord Abhorrent, has got like an actual catchy chorus part to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's something that they've done really, really well on here, is adding those like memorable vocal parts and the lines and the choruses and things like that just really catch your attention. Like the Hunter has got that guilty of your crimes chant in it.
Yes.
Oh my God, it's so sick. Like it's so sick. We mentioned him earlier, but DL's vocals are outstanding
Yes.
on this.
He's come on
Easily
leaps
his
and
best
bounds.
performance to date.
Yeah.
Easily, mate. Easily.
Mate. Black Witchery. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Mate.
Like,
Get
unbelievable, mate.
Yeah.
Black Witchery, mate.
Into dive bombs, black and thrash riffs, mate. Just bop a city.
That is pure blackened fucking speed metal, man. That is Hell Ripper Venom territory, mate. It's
true.
fucking, mate. That was a shock to hear that pace. Super pace, mate.
Yeah. Yeah. Does
so good.
It gave me a kind of on the vocals on here, like almost like a Danny Filth like characters he's performing on here.
Yes.
Like, you know, when he like he'll do like a spoken part and then like a screech part, but then a dupe go. And it's almost like he's playing different characters.
It's like each track is like a chapter in it of a story. So he's sort of playing,
narrating a story.
You know what I mean?
In
Yes.
vocal, yeah,
yes.
Absolutely, mate. It's so good. Loads of cool riffs over here. Like you get those. It's still got loads of old school like black metal riffs, but they meld perfectly with those straight up heavy metal riffs now.
That's it, mate. They've done some metallurgy, mate. Done some alchemy.
yeah, absolute alchemy. yeah, mate. And we need to give a shout out to James Burke on those drums for another powerhouse performance. Like the man's in 2 of the best UK bands going.
Yeah.
Seriously brilliant drummer. Massive beard.
Massive beard.
Yeah.
Massive beard, massive beats.
Yes. Trademark.
The bigger the beard, the bigger the beat, mate. Science.
Yeah. Don't worry, James. We've trademarked these, James. Don't worry, mate.
Yeah. We'll do a t-shirt with your face on it. big beard, big beats. I love talking about production records because I do it on every record. But again, it's really spot on here. Like really powerful sounding. It's definitely cleaner sounding than previous records.
Yeah.
But it really suits.
I think the production on the last records was something that I probably couldn't get my head around too much. I think if I just stuck with them, you get used to it, don't you? But I think production
do you think that's because maybe it was a different style to this? That more raw sound, more undergroundy.
I wasn't expecting this to be as polished as it is, though. And it's not polished, but compared to the other two, it is. There's still like a lot of grit on here.
Yes. Yeah, that's it, mate.
You know, it's a great mix.
I'll talk there. It kind of reminds me again of like Eternal Champion, where it's got that power to it. It is nice and clean, but it's also still got dirt on the hands. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just suits the music so well. The artwork's brilliant. It's just an overall package.
Yeah, the big package, mate. The artwork was an absolute worldie. Great album. I wasn't expecting to it to blow my bollocks off like it has done, but
that last track, Messenger of God, what a closer.
Yeah.
8-minute 43, the violin playing there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very honourable, great way to end a record, man. Yeah, superb record.
Honourable.
Honourable,
they
yes,
didn't
mate.
dishonour themselves.
They didn't, mate.
No dishonour.
Honour, pure honour, mate. Yeah, super album.
Yeah, take a bow, lads. Smashing.
Absolutely. Big statement of intent for the Infernal lads. Like it's if they carry on this path now,
they kind of found their thing now, haven't they?
I
think they found their identity on this album, and I think that shows the confidence and stuff that they've had to kind of push through these influences and stuff and break out of the mold.
This was the first album on Candlelight, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
this one. So I think I think big things are still going to come, man. Definitely.
Oh, definitely.
Now they're Candlelight are massive. We know the backstory with Candlelight, all those classic bands. Yeah, I think this is more of this is to come from Infernal Sea, 100%.
Absolutely, mate. So yeah, Hellfenlick, the Infernal Sea, jump on that if you haven't already. Okay, 10th and final album. We're off to the USA and Southern California's beautiful San Fernando Valley. This is Upon Stone with Dead Mother Moon. This came out 19th of January on Century Media. Holy mother of God.
And this will blow that huge melon on top of your head. Like, oh, clean off.
Oh, I've been waiting to do that all night, mate.
Have you?
Yeah.
Love a bit of Bill Murray, don't we?
We absolutely do. Absolutely do. So this open love letter to Early in Flames, At the Gates, Dissection. Now, many
Hardcore.
bands try this, don't they?
Yeah.
Many bands try it, but they do not capture the magic and the feeling of those records or write songs as good as those records. Upon Bloody Stone have. Like,
and we didn't see it going this way because the EP was totally different, which we raved about.
Do you reckon? I don't think that the the EP was too different.
It was. I think this smashes the EP.
Oh, 100%.
Oh,
and that EP was
yeah.
phenomenal, but I didn't think we would get a pure mellow death album like this from hearing that EP.
Yeah,
that was a bit of a surprise. And like the bands Jim mentioned, that sort of love letters sort of field.
It's so good, man. Like the first thing, Taylor Young's production, right?
As always,
that's one of the most important thing about these records. Like, it's not overly polished, right? It's raw and it crackles with energy, just the same way that those early Gothenburg albums did, because they didn't have massive budgets to produce really like clear, beautiful sounding records. Do you know what I mean? They had limited budgets back in them early 90s days, and this album captures that vibe. I can't even believe it. Like, it sounds, you could have plucked this from 1993, 94, 95.
Exactly what I've got.
You would have no idea.
Yeah,
it's amazing, isn't it? How they can do that, like just transport you back.
You've got.
Yeah,
I think if you do some a genre like this, you've got to sell it to the listeners. You have to, like Jim said, or it don't work, or you forget about it. Yeah. They've straight away, the atmosphere of the album sounds like it's from the 90s.
The riffs sell themselves, baby.
Yeah, and they sell it to you from this album. It's sold.
Yeah,
there's loads of them on it, mate.
There is. You're
going to be bankrupt if you're paying for
them. The guitar tones on here are fucking wonderful, aren't they? Like, super authentic to those influences. Loads of memorable riffs, sweet melodic dual harmonies.
Yeah.
I love this record.
Xavier Wahlberg's vocals are absolutely excellent throughout this entire thing as well. And again, like what we've sort of said in the past albums, there's quite a bit of diversity, I think. Like, where he deploys the gutturals is like at emphatic parts of the album. You know what I mean? Like when they're deployed
really
on when My Destiny, a Weapon, mate.
Oh,
they come in. You know what I mean? Fucking just unbelievable. That is my favorite song on the album, man. That is a wicked song.
Bro, put his vocal performance up against any of them classic records, and he's holding his own.
Oh yeah. Against old, Matey Boy.
You know, Lindbergh and
Lindbergh and
all, like
Bryden.
His vocals are absolutely like stellar on this. The lead work on here is fucking awesome. And I was reading Upon Stone, they did I think it was with, what's that website? Something Oranges. I can't remember what it's called. I think I linked
Visible Oranges.
Yeah, that's it. I linked you two up to it, where they did their top 10 influences. Upon Stone did their top 10 influences. And Gary Moore's album Wild Frontier was on there. Now that's one of the very, very first albums I ever heard when I was about 7 or 8.
Some hard lore.
There you go, mate. And the lead work, they said, like, Gary Moore's lead work was a huge influence on them. And you can hear it because the lead work is those early In Flames albums, right? you can probably sing every guitar solo on the Jester race, right?
Yeah.
It's the same with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're so well written and memorable, and this album just blows my mind, mate. Honestly, like it's got me right here. This album, mate.
Mate, it's so good. Like, and we'll obviously touch on Brian Fair's guest spot on Paradise Failed.
Oh, what a tune.
Yeah, it's wicked, isn't it?
What a great spot as well. Like, just pulling him in.
And it sounds very Shadows Fall as well, doesn't it?
Sound very
Shadows Fall, Kill
It's lovely.
Switch, very metalcore in that mellow death era, isn't it?
Do you hear that influenced as like the Darkest Hour guy and the early Shadows Fall? Can you hear that influence in?
Yeah,
in this?
big time, big time, big time.
Yeah, cool.
Like, I mean, I got into sort of Darkest Hour of Hidden Hands of a Sadist Nation, really, and then went back to So Sedated, So Secure. But on Hidden Hands, this is pretty similar, like in terms of like sound and style on that. But they were all just absolutely loving the At the Gates, weren't they, at that time? But have you done Hidden Hands anytime recently, Jim?
Not recently, mate. I need to do that then.
Mate, it's worth it, mate.
Right, I'm gonna go back to that.
You'll be right up your fucking street now, mate. Yeah, and you'll see the sort of comparisons, but it's fucking excellent, mate. As you said, this could have been released early 2000s in that sort of same vein, or it could have actually come out in the 90s.
That's the magic of it.
It can sit in either camp.
Yeah.
And that is the magic of it.
Absolutely. Sometimes we'll say like the runtime spot on. I could have done with a couple more tracks, man.
Yes. Yes.
That's a good thing that it leaves
That's
you
a good
for
thing.
like
32 minutes. Unbelievable.
Yeah. There's some really nice little clean like acoustic parts in here that just give you a little bit of respite, don't they? Amongst the fucking mellow death onslaught. But let me get the track list up.
Well, I'll quickly touch on To Seek and Follow the Call of Lions, like absolute worldy of a song, man. Like, just alludes to sort of At the Gates, and then it has like all that tremolo picking with the like sort of injects that kind of like black metal sort of dissection influence into it. It's amazing. And like bands like Upon Stone, they can sit on any bill. They can play with hardcore bands. They can play with death metal bands. They can fucking play with black metal bands. They're the Triforce, bruv. They can sit wherever.
Absolutely. Dusk Sang Fairest is the track that I was thinking of. Man, that has got that Moon Shield, like folk, like kind of swing to it. Do you know what I mean? And it's
the folk swing, mate, definitely got that sort of folky element in there. That is
even the
great shout.
Nocturnalism has got that Moon Shield style. Something's gonna happen, sort of thing. With that mellow guitar play, you know what I mean? It's very. You could hear it. You can hear it.
What a record!
And then they do the cover of "Dig Up Her Bones," and they make it sound fucking brilliant, and they make it sound like it's their own track and not a cover track. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, man. Putting their own swing on it, man. Yeah, it's so good. And of course, getting Andreas Marshall to do that perfect artwork.
Oh, I was just literally about to say the same thing. Like, unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable. But again, the entire package, mate. This is what you need to have.
Yeah,
you need to come to the show with the whole package.
That's it. Don't be putting some shitey AI artwork on your record and ruining it, because like the artwork on here is so perfect and it adds so much and it makes you want to buy the record and have that. Like, it's got such like, obviously you did them early In Flames albums, and it just that gives you that same feeling as when you look at the Jester Race cover. It's a genius move.
It's a genius move. It's worth every penny, bruv.
Yeah, imagine what it's like for them growing up listening to them records and then having his artwork on their album cover.
Mate, I bet they get as excited as we do hearing the music, mate.
Absolutely. I think this is a special record. This, honestly,
definitely, mate, 100%. I kind of knew like that this was going to be like
Yeah,
shit in it. You know, it's
I
one
know
of
you
those
were
ones that
buzzing for this, weren't you?
I, you know, after Where Wild Sorrows Grow, I was just like, fucking, this is gonna be a rocket in it, and it took off quite well.
It is.
And it is.
Mate, it surpassed any expectations.
Yeah, you know.
Like,
again, we'll probably be talking about this in
I
sort of
will
11 months. So
I would.
there's no two ways about it. It's just the whereabouts it'll fall.
Bruv, this has gone in
man.
and it ain't moving.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, man. That's it.
Absolutely special record. Upon Stone, Dead Mother Moon is the name of the record. Right, okay, finish up quickly then. Couple of Maggot Stomp EPs for you. First one came out on the 10th of Jan. Tomb Sentinel, Endless Anguish. 15 minutes. Filthy HM2 driven,
Swank the
hardcore
Tank.
infused death
Yeah.
metal. Yeah. Swank the Tank on the vocals.
Giving you that shit. Pounding you into oblivion.
Dust. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this breaks into a trot now and again with the blast beats and the thrashier moments. Really enjoyable.
It's decent.
Hopefully there'll be a full length album from them.
Yeah,
Hopefully this year, mate. Yeah, I can't imagine they'll drop an EP and then leave it. So yeah, really good that. Tomb Sentinel, Endless Anguish, and Corpse Pile, hardcore death metal. Death metal. What a
this
name.
was sick, mate.
Here we go. Look, Death loves it. You know,
26th of Jan, this one on Maggot
Just a
Stomp.
fucking great. That name of the EP, hardcore death metal, is exactly what it is.
Yeah,
that's the genre. There's no other explanation from it. Hardcore death metal, but it's gore. That's exactly what you get. Filth.
It's filth, mate.
It's fucking wicked, mate.
Down-tuned guitars, sub-drops, filthy bass tone, pingy snare, everything you fucking want.
Yeah,
from a Maggot Stomp release.
Yeah,
it's there, isn't
sick.
it?
I want a full release of this, mate. I'll be all over it.
Yeah, that'll be coming, mate.
Scott, like we said, he's like the Southampton or the Ajax of death metal, and he just keeps churning out these bands from his academy.
Understand the
no, he absolutely
that analogy, but you absolutely won't.
It's good, Scott. It's good, mate.
Yeah,
that's all you need to know.
You've got a revolving conveyor belt of wicked new bands.
Premier League talent.
Yeah.
It gets like snatched up by Chelsea for £1 billion, and then they're just shit.
So yeah, Corpse Pile and Tomb Sentinel, 2 new bands to keep an eye on, and that is December and January's roundup. So let us know.
Blimey.
I know, mate. Let us know what you thought. There are loads of albums we could have put on here that I haven't had a chance to listen to. Too many.
Vitriol was a big one.
Yes, there was a few, weren't there, that just didn't.
Yeah. It's probably the biggest January we've had since we've started this podcast, I would say.
Absolutely, mate.
Yeah.
So let us know what you thought. Twitter at Bangers P, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Bangers and Mosh Podcast. Search us up, you'll find us there. And thanks for listening to Bangers and Mosh, the podcast for heavy music. We'll be back soon. Until then, party on, dudes.